Hello everyone, welcome to this video. Today we're going to be reviewing Final Cut Pro X. So if you're interested in purchasing Final Cut Pro X, you can buy it right here at the Mac App Store for just $300, which in my opinion is a decent price. So anyway, let's get right into the review of Final Cut Pro X. So first things first, I created an event right here and of course a new project, and so which you can easily do by just going up to File and then hitting New Event or New Project, which obviously you're going to have to do both. But since I already did that, I'm going to go down to Import. I'm going to go to Files. I'm just going to grab a file from my desktop. I want to grab this one right here. And so right here it's going to give you a preview of it. You can preview it just by clicking this, and it will play just kind of a rough cut of the video. And then right here you have the option to add to existing event or to create a new event and to import this into that new event. I'm obviously going to stick with the event that I already created, so I'm going to go to add to existing event. So I have that selected, my video clip selected, and I'm going to click import now. Alright, so now we have it up here in our event, and you can also see it in the viewer right here. And so now I'm just going to grab a chunk out of it and I'm going to put it down the timeline right here so we can start editing. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to select my in and out points right here. Alright, so I want to do it where the camera is first just out and then it's going to pan in. Alright, so kind of around there. So you just do it by grabbing onto these yellow edge pieces and just pulling them in. Or you can use the keyboard shortcut I and O, which most of you are probably already familiar with from previous versions of Final Cut and Motion. So anyway, after you've done that, just select it and drop it into your timeline. Alright, so that's good. Now I'm just going to turn up the zoom level so that I can see it a little bit more better. Alright, so now we have our clip right here, and we have it in the timeline, and we can now see it in the viewer as well. So as you can see, it's a pretty nice clip just of the camera slightly zooming into some pretty nice looking cookies. So I'm going to select the clip, and right here we have a small line down on the clip on the timeline. It says 0 dB, so you can select your dB level, which is your audio level, and you can either just drag that down to bring the audio down or drag it up to bring the audio up. I'm going to leave it just at 0 because I don't really have any audio to worry about on this clip. So anyway, that's just a quick way to bring the audio down or up. But for right now, I'm going to double click on it, and I'm going to bring it up to the inspector, which is this right hand window up here. And first things first, I'm going to take a look at the info. Now right here I can name the file, I can add notes, roles, start and end points, duration, the codecs, camera name, stereo, audio, all that good stuff. So I'm going to add a name. I'm going to call this shot number 1. And the notes, let's see, these would, if you're going to add notes, it would mainly be if, say, you're the director and you're wanting to add a few notes for your editor to reference to. So so you added shot number 1 for the name, and notes, something I put in here, let's see, shaky camera movement. Okay, so shaky camera movement, just to let them know that the movement is obviously a little bit shaky, and so they may want to stabilize it. Then for roles, I can add video and dialogue. I don't have any dialogue in here, so I'm just going to select video so they know what it is. Camera name, I'm going to call this camera number 1. Alright, so if you're shooting with multiple cameras, then your editor knows which camera you're using, and thus you can just keep it a little more organized. So I've selected all of that and have that good, so I'm going to move over from info to audio. In audio, we've got a few different options. I'm just going to bring the audio all the way down because I don't want any audio on this clip. Alright, and then channel configuration. You can just play around with the audio channels if you want, but again, I'm not going to do anything with that right now, considering I don't need it. So then after we're done with the audio, I'm going to take a look at the video tab. And again, we're doing this all within the inspector window. Alright, so on the video tab right here, we've got quite a few options. The first one is your color right here, which I'm going to look at. And so You can add more by just hitting this little button right here which says add correction. And so I have 2 layers of color correction right there. I'm obviously only going to use one, and so I'm going to select my top one, color correction 1, and then I'm going to go show correction. And right here it'll now put up the color corrector. And so now I can just kind of play around with it. That looks pretty bad, but you know, you can just play around with it to get the desired effect. Go into saturation, play around with that a little bit, play around with the levels. I'm going to make it more of a vivid looking shot right there. Your exposure, you can play with that. I'm going to make sure to make some good highlights, some good detail. Alright, so that looks pretty decent right now. So from here, now I think everything looks pretty good, so I can just click this arrow right here and it will send me back into my video in the inspector. Now from here we can go down to the transform tab. We can select the position, rotation, scale, and the anchor points. All of that I'm going to leave that alone, but obviously scale, rotation, that's pretty self-explanatory in what it does, but again I'm going to leave it alone. Then we have crop, and again that's pretty self-explanatory as well. I can crop the image however I want it. Possibly, you know, I want to maybe add like a widescreen effect onto it. So let's see. Alright, so let me go. I just clicked something wrong there for a second. But so possibly I want to add a widescreen effect to it. So the bottom, I'm going to bring that up the same amount as well. So there we go. We've got some widescreen right there. Alright, and then we can go down to distort and show. I'm not going to do anything with that. And then we have stabilization, which is really nice as well. My personal opinion on it, I think it's good. I prefer previous versions of Final Cut Pro. I just think it's more professional and has more professional features to it. But if you're wanting something that isn't full-on professional, but you still get a lot of good abilities in your editor, I definitely recommend it. And for the price, it's pretty decent. So anyway guys, hope this review was helpful, and I'll see you later. Bye.